We'll get started in just another minute.
Okay.
And I guess you could project from your cloud, it doesn't matter. Just look there. Because you have two screens, it's easier.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining the meeting today. We're going to go ahead and get started. Just as a reminder, if you could please have your speaker muted when you're not talking, just because that helps cut down on feedback. But then don't forget to turn it back on if you need to ask a question or anything. I know it can be hard to remember. If you have questions for me, you can always type it in the chat, which is on my screen, it's located in the top right. And so if you have any questions, just let me know. And it's also, so we didn't do a PowerPoint this time. We're just going to follow along with the packet, which if you want to, that's also attached to the event invitation that you can pull up separately. So we are going to power through this and get it going. Carol, if you want to go ahead and the floor is yours.
Okay, and I've got to say, since I'm on the phone, I have trouble muting my speaker because I have to get out of it and go back in. And anyway, I usually screw up something.
Okay, that's fine. Well, you probably should be doing a lot of the talking anyway, since you're the chair. So I think that'll be just fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, we will call this meeting to order at 4:04. And the first thing we need to do is approve the minutes of October the 5th. And I hope you've all had a chance to glance at them. Were there any problems? All right. We need to approve the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of October the 5th?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of October 5th.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, state aye, please. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Now to the business at hand. And it seems like we've got a pretty big packet today. So, okay, we are to consider the Historic Restoration Grant reimbursement for property located at 613 Virginia Avenue. This is HRG hashtag 2020-003.
Thank you, Carol. Yes, we do.
Number.
We do. We do have a big packet today. We have several reimbursements from last year's grant cycle, as well as all the new applications for the 2021 cycle.
Right.
So this one is 2020-003. Address is 613 Virginia. The work that they had done was primarily regular maintenance. They wanted to replace some rotten wood on the front porch, the spindles and railing, and then repaint everything, all matching what was there before. The applicant has provided staff with all proof of payment for this expenditure, and the amount was $4,600. They were funded at 9% of the final project cost, not to exceed $306, and staff recommends approval of grant funds in that amount.
Okay. Yes, this house is right in my neighborhood. I know it well. All right. Do we have any questions or anything that needs to be cleared up? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the release of grant funds in the amount of $306?
I'll I'll make a motion that we approve the release of the funds.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that we release funds to HRG 2020-003.
Thank you. All in favor state aye, please. Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, thank you. And that house, not too long ago, had a little fire in it. So thank goodness it wasn't a bad fire. But anyway. All right, next on the agenda is HRG 2020-011. And this is Russell R. Smith, 507 East Hospital Street. And this is to approve the release of funds for historic restoration grant. Estimated project cost $7,586.44.
Yes, HRG 2020-11. This was another one from last year. This was more of a unique project in that the property has a lot of stained glass windows. It's probably the one of the more dominant features of this building. And the property owner wanted to protect the windows, and so they came up with a plan to encase the existing windows in glass and install wheat poles to ensure that no moisture damaged any of the components. And they also cleaned window awnings and repaired or replaced rotten wood, just again, regular maintenance to help preserve the building. And they provided proof of payments in the amount of $7,586.44, funded at 9% of the project cost. That is $682.78, and staff recommends approval of the release of these grant funds.
All right, thank you. Do I hear a motion to release these funds?
I'll make a motion that we release the grant funds to HRG 2020-011.
Thank you.
I'll
Do
second
I hear
that.
a second? Yes.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor state aye, please. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right. It's so good to see someone doing that with the weep holes. Very clever. Okay, let's see. What is next? Michael Dean, 316 North Church. This is an extension. This is the third extension. And I understand there have been problems, lots of problems. HRG 2019-002.
Thank you, Carol. Yes, Michael is on the call today. If y'all have any questions for him.
Okay.
So this is, like you said, the third extension for this property. It sounds like just, everything's been thrown at him, weather, COVID delays, all sorts of stuff. And so I'm not going to go through it all, but all the details of the delays are listed out in the staff report, as well as an email from him. He is requesting an additional 6 months to complete the project. I believe it's just painting at this point. His new due date would be Tuesday, May 4th. Oh, oops, I have that wrong in the stat. 2021.
2021.
Yep. And he was from the round before last year, so 2019, and he was granted 50% of the final project cost, not to exceed $9,960. And staff did not make any recommendations on these extensions. So I'll hand it over to y'all if you have any questions.
Great. Okay, since Michael is on the call, do we have any questions for him?
Well, I would like to note that this would be the third extension. However, with that saying, reading through Mr. Dean's comments, among the traders of history, one might mention the East Texas weather. So we certainly understand that, as well as times in a pandemic
Yeah.
and the harshness of life simply happening. But I also note you've always kept us up to date. It's not as if you've disappeared, and that work continues. So it seems as there's always a foot good faith effort to get things done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would second that. There has been progress and stops and starts, and quite frankly, contractors are a whole other world unto themselves. So,
Oh, yes.
um, you know, I appreciate the submission of what's been accomplished when, and the plan for getting the rest done.
Yeah,
Good.
I'll go Perky and Paul's sentiments on that. Appreciate keeping us updated, Michael. And, I'm just going to go ahead and move that we approve the extension of HRG 2019-002.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? I'll second it.
Mm.
All in favor, state aye, please.
I
Aye.
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 All right. All opposed? Yeah, I think the pandemic is just the icing on the cake as far as horrible things happening. So, absolutely. All
Agreed.
right. Next, we have COA 2020-015, Brett Arrant, 123 Main Street, a COA.
Yes, when y'all saw the agenda for this meeting, you probably thought, holy cow, there's a lot going on. Uh, so all of the COAs for this meeting are all tied to historic restoration grant applications. However, there were only two that were outside of regular maintenance. So these are the ones that have been pulled out and will be heard separately. So this is the first one. It's for 123 Main, which is one of the prominent buildings right on the corner downtown adjacent to the CVB. And the project is pretty straightforward, and we've asked that the applicant will work with staff if any questions come up about, as they progress. What they're looking to do is clean and replace brick, and along with the mortar joints where they are missing, in order to bring back as historical a look as possible. There is non-original brick, which there should be a picture, and Brian's going to go to it. The stucco at the top, that will be removed to expose original brick. And the contractor that Mr. Rant is looking at is Marsh Waterproofing. They do a great job with historic material, and they know to use low pressure water and bristle brush to protect the brick. So it's a straightforward project. There could be bumps along the road, but we're going to work with the applicant as they go along to make sure it all is historical integrity remains intact.
Good. Good. All right. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question and clarification.
Yes.
I would like it stated clearly in the minutes, that we are not speaking about wire brushes. Bristle could be anything, wire or natural. And wire on those historic, I know there's a lot of replacement, but wire scrubbing down could rip out as much brick and mortar in there. I'm quite concerned about that. There was no specification.
Okay.
I won't argue on the product. The Prosecco is good. I'm not sure that's the best product, but the Prosecco line is good. But you're basically opening, harsh methods as stated.
And they are going to keep everybody appraised of what is found, correct?
Right. And
I was going to say, there's probably a reason that stucco wasn't removed when that work was done previously. So I'll be very interested if there's even any viable brick underneath that stucco.
I sort of thought the same thing. I mean, they left it for some reason. Right. It'll be interesting to see.
And the board can require certain methods be used and it sounds like, Perky, that's what you're getting at. You would like to require natural bristle brush.
Yeah, because at the moment, the way it's stated is just a bristle brush. Well, what's to limit wire going over what's clearly fragile mortar and brick already?
Right. That's a good point. I hadn't even really thought about that.
I hadn't either. I didn't know if there was a difference between bristles and wires, and but that
I
makes sense.
assumed when they said bristle that it was a natural material, like
Yeah,
a
that's true.
painting brush bristle,
Yeah,
Right. Or like a scrub brush.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so natural nylon would be fine, you know, a soft
Absolutely.
nylon.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the way it's written allows the use of wire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that, Perky.
Yeah. That needs to be.
Further evidence
Correct.
of the value of a good public historian on this committee. Thank you, Perky.
Absolutely. Okay.
Or just grumpy.
No. You have the building's success at heart, so that's what's important. Okay. All right. So
Having said that,
with that change made, um, do I hear a motion to approve this COA?
yeah, so with that caveat, I'll make a motion that we approve COA 2020-015, that it meets the standards and guidelines.
Very good. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor state aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you. All righty. Moving right along. Now we are considering the COA for 2020-021. This is Judy and Travis Clardy are the applicants. The location is 209 East Main. And this is a COA and for several things that are to be done, and they're listed. Do we have any discussion of this?
Yep, most of this is regular maintenance, but there are a couple items that you need to consider. And so while this is tied to an HRG, these two items that I'm about to explain are not part of the funding because they don't qualify. Let me find them. So they would like to install 9 metal flag holders on the front balcony. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm thinking it'll be similar to what you see at City Hall. So to display the 9 flags for Nacogdoches, and then also install, planters, decorative planters on the balcony columns. And actually, there's a third one: install lighting fixtures. And I have it explained in the staff comments that all lighting in the downtown area needs to be down lighting.
Down lighting, yes.
And that's spelled out in our ordinance. And then also, because Perky brought it up, I do have it listed as low pressure water and bristle brushes if we want to make sure to clarify that.
Yes, please.
Yep, and I'll turn it over to y'all.
Okay. Well, I know that Perky wants to ask about the installation of the flag holders. So take it away, Perky.
Well, yes, I want to make sure that I'm reading those flag holders, that's on the new balcony. I guess I'm making sure that is not a historic balcony. It's been there for quite a while, but I wanted to ask about that.
It's new when you think of downtown Nacogdoches.
Yeah.
Timeline.
Yes.
So yes,
Okay.
it's new.
And then I had another question. Well, I'll hog the microphone here. And I'm not seeing, there was something in what they wrote that was, they said the balconies would be painted and then equipped with decorative mounts, which I read is different than the flower boxes, the decorative planters. Are those two different things or the same thing?
Two separate things, the decorative planters as well as 9 flag holders.
All right, but then they also said decorative mounts for seasonal display.
I'm assuming for decorations, like for Christmas or such, maybe.
I
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
those are for the planters.
Seasonal flowers is how I
Well-
interpreted it. But
Well,
I don't
they
know.
have that. They have that also separately. So I guess my concern is, are these decorative mounts, which, like Alex said, I was assuming for seasonal, yeah, ribbons, bows, whatever. That isn't going. That's only for the COA and not the HRG. I might be jumping the gun there, but when you read their application, the mounts look different than the flags, which look different than the planter. If that makes sense. I'll shut up.
Yeah, because it says balcony columns painted and equipped with decorative mounts for seasonal display, and then below it it says mount decorative planters for seasonal plants to be planted.
Right.
So it mentioned decorative mounts twice, but one's for plants and one just says seasonal display.
Hey, can you guys pause the discussion for just a moment? We're going to get some clarification. Hang on just for a few seconds.
Yeah, of course.
Certainly.
Okay, thank you for hanging on. There is a number on the call that I'm not familiar with. Is if that's if that's Judy or Travis, can you speak up now? Okay, so it's not. I was gonna let them speak to their case. So what we can do for this, if y'all don't want to make a decision on the mounts until we can get some more clarification from them, we can move forward with the parts of the COA that are tied to the HRG, because it's only the preservation type items that are involved with the funding. So we can go ahead and vote on the funding and then get more clarification on just those couple items from the Clardies.
Okay. Well, why don't we just vote on the funding then?
Okay, well,
And
we'll
then
do that.
you can get clarification on the other.
Okay, sounds good. So we want to make sure to get clarification with the seasonal amounts versus the holders versus, however they have it explained.
Right.
Okay. So then we'll table that, I guess, and we can move on to let me get back to my. So if y'all want to make a motion to table it, then we'll go ahead with the rest of the meeting.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to table this discussion?
Well, I motion that we table COA 2020-021 as we seek out, clarification in writing.
Okay.
Exactly what's to be done.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I second.
All righty. Thank you. All in favor of receiving more clarification on this, putting this aside, I state aye, please.
Aye.
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 And opposed? All right. We will visit that later. Okay, now what's next? Okay. COA for, oh my goodness, yes, all of this. Our consent agenda. Is that what's next?
Yes.
Yes. And I see that the last one has been removed.
Yes, they withdrew their HRG, so it took out the COA as well.
Okay. All righty. Can we do them in bulk, or must we visit each one separately?
Yes, that's what the consent agenda does. It allows you to to make a motion for all of them. And I'll just say it again, these are all regular maintenance, and they just have to have a COA submitted because they're tied to an HRG.
All right. So, do I hear a motion to?
Carol,
Yes, please.
before we get there,
Yes.
I do have one correction, just
Oh,
so
go
that
ahead.
we're correct. 522 East Main is not the downtown. It is Sternhuya.
Oh, okay.
That threw me for quite a loop because I kept thinking it wasn't, and I was very confused. Just so that we are assigning it to the correct historic district. It's the Sternhuya National Historic District.
Very
Thank you
good.
for
I did
that.
not catch that. Yeah.
Thank you, Perky. I guess there's a saying about what happens when you assume. So thank you for that.
No, but that just because if somebody were looking for it, it'd be hard to find.
Absolutely. Well, Hannah, do we need to change that? Or
No.
anything? Okay. All right. But the clarification will be in the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. All righty. Thank you. Okay. Now, do we have a motion to approve these COAs that are basically just normal maintenance, A through I?
I'll make a motion that we approve COAs 2020 A through I 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 22 as submitted.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor state aye, please.
Aye.
All right. Opposed? Thank you. And I'm glad you pointed that out, Perky. That went right past me. And I was wondering. Okay. The last thing on our agenda today is to consider the budget. And I'm sure Hannah will tell us about this.
I sure will. If you'll notice, I had sent an attachment to this packet with all the HRG applications. And just as an aside, we did them all online for the first year ever. And I would say it was mostly successful, and we'll probably do it again. There were a couple kinks to work out, but hopefully, it gets smoother as we go on. But anyway, there is a map in your packet just to show sort of where they're all scattered about. But the proposed budget is there. Due to carryovers, extra money, defaults, we had quite a bit of extra money this year. And so we had a little over $46,000 to grant. We get, just to remind you, we get $25,000 city council awards that to this historic restoration grant fund for us to give out. And so it all depends on how many applicants we get and how big the projects are as to how much money people get. But we do want to give out all that we can, which is why we don't just give out $25,000 every year. So anyway, as you can see, we did have quite a few applicants this year. One of them, 2021-008, they did withdraw, like I said. So that one is taken out, and this is what we're left with. 24, the average over the years has been 24% awarded, 25% awarded. So we're right below that. And I hope that the applicants are happy with these amounts, but I welcome your feedback on this budget.
I think it's fabulous that we actually had that much money. Yeah. Any comments? Any?
I feel like the squeaky wheel tonight.
No, please.
Be the squeaky wheel.
Be it.
I noticed, so the 418 Mound Street, number 3, I see that its paperwork is in the redone submission that you all sent us, which that's good. Um, however, where's its COA?
Yes, that was a COA, I believe, from 2016. It's an old COA because there are so many windows in this house that
Right.
the applicant has piecemeal gotten them done over the years. And so he can always refer back to that COA. So it is tied to one, and I'd be happy to send that out to the board. But I think there are like 106 windows in this property. So he's gotten them done little by little, and he has done a great job over the years. He's not just he's restoring the windows fully. They're weighted. They're fully operable. So he has definitely proven himself to be a good grantee over the years.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure because we hadn't been looking on that COA still applied. Because then when you sent this, I was like, oh, well, I figured what it should be for. Then my other question, and then, okay, so then with the 209 East Main, since we tabled the we'll say the non-historic stuff, can you
Right.
tell us what actually is included in this 25% that they're asking for?
Sure, let me get that pulled back up. It's all regular maintenance. Let's see, they would like to, most of it is just cleaning and repairing historic materials. So there's stucco on the back of the building. They're going to clean and repair or replace wood on the front of the building. They're going to clean the metal railing on the balcony. The front balcony, the deck flooring, they're going to stain and seal it, repair and replace window frames as needed throughout the building. There's some warping in the exterior doors, so replacing those on the rear. And then there's a stairway on the back, and that photo is included. They're going to finish the metal hand railing so that it's safe. And then to install gutters on the front and the back balconies for improved drainage. So quite a few items, all regular maintenance.
Okay, just so we have that clear. All right.
Right.
Okay.
So, are there any other questions or comments? And do we have a motion to approve the budget? I forget.
It's a recommendation, council.
No, we
So,
don't.
so y'all will make a recommendation. You haven't yet, but you'll make a recommendation to approve the budget for
Alrighty.
council to vote on, because council votes at their next meeting, which is because it's financial. So at the November 17th meeting, they will vote on the budget that you recommend to them.
Okay. All right. With the changes made, do I hear a motion to approve the altered budget? I mean, not really altered. I'm sorry. Just this budget as presented.
I make a motion that we approve recommending this as the budget.
Yes. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor state aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Opposed? Thank you. Okay. And hopefully our next meeting, maybe we can meet in person. I don't know. What will we be able to, Brian? Is
That
he around, or Hannah? Do you know?
Potentially, I believe the powers that be would like to test out the hybrid meeting capabilities before passing it on to some of the other boards. And so it'll be city council tomorrow will be a hybrid meeting. So hopefully it all goes smoothly. And by the next meeting next month, we hope to be able to.
That sounds good.
No promises, though.
No promises. Okay. All right. If there is nothing else, then our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you guys. You made that short and sweet.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.